Hey everybody, this is Tracy White again, T. Earl on the UE4 forums, and up to now we've kind of got our game going pretty well. We've got a timer. We unhooked the UMG widget on our timer, but we're going to hook it back up in this video, as well as adding some more menus. So the menus we're going to be adding, and I've already done these because I think it's kind of boring going through the whole setup, but we'll run through it and I'll show you what I've done. We're going to have a main menu, two parts to a level select menu, an end level menu, a pause menu, and a start level menu. Alright, so let's take a look at our game HUD menu first. If you remember, this is where we added our timer, and our timer, we would get the time from our ball pawn, which has the timer function in it, and this is where we get the time counter, and that's what's put into the game HUD. Alright, so the other thing I wanted to do on the game HUD is to have a pause button. So what I did, and this is basically a copy of this overlay branch over here. So remember, we have our overlay, background image, and our timer stuff. So over here we just have an overlay, a vertical box with the overlay in it because like I said, I just copied. A button. On the button I have the regular button background and the button hover background, and then my pause text is just an II to make it look like a pause button. Yeah, cheating, but a simple way to cheat, and it works well. Okay, on the button, what I did is I created an on-click event. If we scroll down, events, on-clicked, whenever you don't have something, it'll say create on-clicked event. So we'll view this on-click event. Alright, so what this is going to do is whenever that pause button is clicked, it's going to pause the game. So all I did was I dragged off and I set game paused, and then made paused value true. Then I'm going to remove from viewport, and again it's just drag off, remove from viewport, and that's going to remove this game HUD because it's removing itself. Then I'm going to create the pause menu widget. Again, just drag off, create widget, and whenever you create widget you'll have a pull down here which you'll pick your menu, and then we're going to add that to the viewport. So I created a pause menu, and this pause menu is just a little background with two buttons in it. One button will go back to the game, so resume, and the other one will go to the main menu, which we're not going to cover this tutorial. We'll cover that next tutorial because it's a little more involved. Alright, so this menu, again, it's just an overlay with a background image, and it's the same one we've been using for all our other stuff. Then a vertical box, and in that vertical box I have two buttons, the resume button and the main menu button, and each of those has its associated text. Alright, so right now the main menu button doesn't do anything, but the resume button is going to do this. Whenever we click the resume button, it's going to set game paused and unpause, so that's false. Then it's going to remove itself from the viewport, that's this widget, and we're going to create a widget, and that's going to be our game HUD, which is going to put our game HUD back onto the screen and add that to the viewport. Alright, so real quick, on the game HUD, whenever we hit the pause button, it'll pause the game and add the pause menu. On the pause menu, whenever we click resume, it'll unpause the game, take the pause menu away, and add the HUD. Alright, so let's go ahead and play, and you'll see that we have our timer going and our pause button over here. So when I hit that pause button, the game HUD goes away, the pause menu appears. Again, main menu doesn't do anything yet. We'll take care of that later. But if I hit resume, it'll take the pause menu away and resume, and you can see the counter stops during this time. Alright, it was like what, 11 seconds just now, and by the time I resume it's still on 11, and then it continues to count up. Alright, so that takes care of our pause. The next thing I want to talk about is starting the level. So I don't want the level to load and then automatically start playing and automatically start counting. So what I want is a menu to pop up at the start of every level. And this is what I want my start menu to look like. I'm going to have a background image. It's that same background image that we've been using for the other menus. And then in there I'm going to have this vertical box, and in the vertical box I'll have our level name, our best time text, which is not going to change. This is just going to say best time, and then right under it we're going to display the actual best time for that level, and then some start level text will go here, and then we have a begin button, and then within the begin button it's just the text is going to say begin. Well, let's start with getting this stuff: level name, the best time for that level, and level start text. Okay, so an easy way to do this whenever you're creating it is on the content where you write your text, you can create a binding. So I've already created the binding here, and it's a get level name, so we're going to go take a look at that. Alright, here's get level name, and whenever you create the binding, all you're going to have is your start and return node for this function. So what I did for this function, and I'll do it right below it here, so I right click and get player pawn. If I can spell player pawn, and then I can cast to our player pawn, which is BP pawn. And from there I can get my level name. Now remember, in my player pawn, all of my stuff that's from saved game that's loaded onto the player pawn begins with a B. That way I could just get it very easily. Alright, so level name, and then I also need to get the level index, because we need to know which element from this array that we're going to display. Drag off of the array, do a get based off of this level index, and then we feed that right into the return node, which puts this conversion in here for you automatically. So that's all there was to that. The start level text, which is here, is bound to the get level start text function, which is exactly the same thing as getting the level name, except we're getting the level start text instead. And then likewise, whenever we get the best time, it is also exactly the same as the other ones, except this time we're getting the variable best time, and that's going to go into our best time number right here. Okay, so on begin, this gets a little different. I did an on-clicked event and created an on-clicked. So when we click the begin button, we're going to remove the start menu, which is itself, so remove from viewport. Again, we're going to cast to our BP ball pawn, and then we're going to call a function called start the level. So let's hop over to our ball pawn blueprint, and I will show you this. It's somewhere here. Start the level. This is a custom event. Again, to create a custom event, you can just do add event, custom event, and I named it start the level. Alright, so on start the level, all I did was dragged off of the node, and I did a create widget. We're going to create our game HUD here, and we're going to add it to viewport, and then we're going to set our start level to true. Now over here on our timer, you remember we had this event tick, went through a delay, and as long as the level was not ended, we would count up our time on our timer. Well, I don't even want it to start counting until our start level is true. So on event tick, we're going to hit this branch, and when the level loads up, start level, this new variable start level, is false. And I'll show you that. By default, I have this set to false. And so we're going to hit this false node coming out, and it's going to just kind of dump out on itself and not do anything. When the menu, start level menu begin button is pressed by firing this start the level custom event, it's going to set that to true, which is going to let everything flow through this event and start our timer up and all that kind of good stuff. Alright, so once again, start level menu, we're going to get our best time, get our start text, and get our level name. One more important thing is the place that we add our start level menu, and I have level 1 loaded up here. On my level blueprint, on begin play, I did a create widget, and start level menu was the class that I chose, and I added it to viewport. So each level is going to have this in the level blueprint. Okay, well, whenever we hit play, you can see my start level menu pops up. It's gotten the name of the level, which is level underscore 001. Best time, which was just something that we displayed. 12. So 12 seconds. It got this from the array based on the current index. And our level, start level text that we had set on our save game defaults. This is the easiest level, no tricks. And begin. So we can see there's no counter timing, our game HUD's not up, so when I hit begin, it's going to remove itself, and then it's going to fire the start the level custom event on our ball pawn, which will add the game HUD and set our start level to true and start counting up our time. Alright, that's good, works as intended. We have our pause menu, of course, which pauses the time and back to the game. So it all looks good. Alright, good. So the last thing I want to add to each individual level is an end level menu. And this is what I want my end level menu to look like. Again, it's built very similarly to all the other ones. If you guys have any questions on how I built these on this little canvas here, just put the questions in the comment and I can do another video, but it's really not that complicated. I do an overlay, a background, a vertical box with everything I want in it. In this case, it's going to be, I want to display the best time, your time from the current level, and then time report text, which is pulled from the ball pawn. I don't know if I went over this before, but after we did our comparing of time, I have a new variable which is level complete text, and I just set it here, and it'll be these 4 different things depending on how you do. If you don't beat the best time, better luck next time. If you get exactly the same as the best time, so close but not close enough. If you get less than the best time, it goes through a branch. So all the level defaults are 999 seconds. So if you beat the default, so basically it's saying if you're less than the best time stored, but the best time stored is 999, then you have set the first best time for this level. And if it's anything other than 999 and less than the stored best time, then you beat the best time. Okay, so that's where we're going to be getting our text for excuse me, for the end of the level. Okay, then we have three buttons. We have a replay, next level, and main menu. Of course, like the pause menu, our main menu is not hooked up yet, but our replay and next level are. Alright, so just like the start level, any field that I want changed has a binding to it. This particular field, which is the best time, it has a binding of get best time. Your time has a binding of get current level time. Our end of level text, get end of level text. And then we have two on clicked events, one for replay and one for next level. So let's take a look at those. Okay, let's get our best time. So just like the start menu, it's the exact same function here, exactly the same. So we just get a player pawn reference cast to our BP ball pawn and get our best time based on the current level index, and we return that to the that field. Alright, get current time is a little different. Again, we're referencing a player pawn class, casting to our ball pawn, and then we're just going to get our time counter and then return that node. End of level text, exactly the same thing, casting to our ball pawn and getting our level complete text. And remember, that's just dragging off of here after the cast, and we can get and then the name of the variable we're after. Alright, so that's how we get those three numbers or text. In the event graph, we have on clicked for our replay button. Whenever we click replay, we're going to remove from viewport. That's the current widget itself, so that end of level menu will go away. And then I'm going to execute a console command, and that's going to be restart level, specific to our player controller. Alright, our next level button, this gets a little more complicated. Again, we're going to remove this menu from the viewport. We're going to get a reference to the pawn and cast it to our ball pawn. We're going to get, again it's just dragging off, and get level name right here, and we're going to get our level index +1 because we actually want the next index name field for level name, and we're going to get that element out of the level name array and feed it into our open level for our level name. So basically what this is doing is it's saying, okay, what is the name of the next level? We'll open that. And of course, whenever we open the next level, it'll come up, open a level, and put on our start level menu. I do have this hooked up. Main menu button, remove from viewport this current menu, and then open our main menu level, which we've called a maze start map, but I don't have anything else hooked up on that, so we're not going to worry about that. Alright, so let's see how this all works together. Start level menu gives us our level number, our best time, and the text for this menu, and let's hit begin. Alright, our timer starts. We're going through the level. We can hit pause anytime we want. Everything stops. Timer stops. Pause menu comes up, and if we just didn't want to play this level, we could return to main menu, or we can resume. In this case, we're going to resume, and we're going to head on through the level and end the level. And then we have our end of level menu pop up. Well, it told us the best time was 12. Our time was 15. and better luck next time because we did not beat the best time. We can replay the level or go to the next level. So if we hit replay, it goes back to the beginning of the level. And again, we have our pause. What I saw there was whenever we replayed the level, it did not remove the game HUD whenever this end of level comes up. So we'll have to troubleshoot that. Alright, so let's take a look at that. Whenever on our ball pawn, whenever we hit the end of level, our end level is set to true. How can we take care of that? Let's see. We're going to need to, it's supposed to remove it right here, but it wasn't doing that. So this is a reference to our game HUD. Whenever we start the level, the widget's created and added. When everything goes through at the end and our comparison is made, it's supposed to remove that from the viewport and then add the end level menu. So I'm missing something somewhere whenever I replay the level. I think it's adding two of them, and I'll look at that and we'll fix that in the next video. Alright, something funny to look at here is a good way to cheat. So now you can see whenever I play the level, you can see my ball is in there, and I can actually control it without the timer going, with the start menu up, and then I can cheat. I can say go ahead and begin. Look at that. I did this whole thing in 2 seconds, but that's not real accurate, is it? Alright, let's go back to our ball pawn and just say same thing we did down here I'm going to do to the controls for the ball. As long as start level is false, I'm not going to let anything happen. So I'm going to copy those nodes, and then up here I'm just going to paste that right here. And as long as start level is false, we're not going to be able to add any torque. Okay. And we'll do that here, here as well. No forward, backwards, no left and right. But once it's set to true, we'll be able to play. So now there's no cheating. I can't control the ball either with the joystick or with my keys. So not until we hit begin, and now I have control over the ball. So that takes care of our cheaters. Okay, so that's the basic menu setup for our levels. We add the start level menu in our level blueprint. We have our game HUD, which has the pause menu, as well as our timer that we set up a few videos ago. And our pause menu, which just has a return to main menu or resume the game, which unpauses the game. And our end level menu, which shows the best time for the level, our time, and reports some text based on whether or not you beat the time or not. Then you can go to the replay the level if you want to try it again, go to the next level, or go to the main menu. So next level I didn't show, and I don't think I set up my level blueprint on level 2. Let's go ahead and find out real quick. Oops, I did begin or replay again. Sorry, it's the day after Thanksgiving and sleep wasn't very fulfilling after that much food. Alright, next level. So it loaded the next level, but again, I didn't set up the start level menu to get through this, and that's why I can't control the ball, because by default the start level value is set to false, and which means I can't control the ball. Alright, let me fix that real quick. If I just go to this level blueprint, I can copy. Let's save everything. I want to go to open level 2, and in level 2 I want to open my level blueprint. It showed up over on my other screen, and just paste that where we add the start level menu. So let's go back to level 1 real quick, hit play, begin, and run through this level real quick. I don't think we're ever going to beat 2 seconds. I might have to delete that saved game from that cheater. Okay, so next level, it's going to open up level 2. Our best time whenever we were playing around with the timer before was 11, and well, how about another easy one? And we'll hit begin. Our HUD comes up, timer is working, pause button is working, resume button is working, and we can get to the end of this level. So obviously I won't be able to go to the next level until I put the start level menu on the level blueprint to that. But that's our basic level setup. Next time we're going to get into our main menu, and the reason I saved that for a new video is because it's going to have a little more complicated level select menu, and then I guess we'll go over that then. See you then.